So Dryden Gold is a company that we follow here at CEO.CA pretty closely. And of course, we had to invite Maura, Kolb, president of Dryden, onto our program while we're here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Maura, I want to start with this, your massive jump in your drilling plans for 2026. It's going up from 23,000 meters up to 32,000. Why the aggressive move right now?
Well, we were able to cash in a lot of the warrants that we had. That was really our overhang all fall. We kept hitting over 30-cent mark, but we had 38 million warrants coming due at the end of the year, and we had about 70% of those cashed in, and now we just have a bigger treasury. We've had the targets. I mean, we have Gold Rock that we are aggressively growing. We have Sheridan, which we had some new results on recently, and that's definitely an interesting one I want to talk about later. And then Hinman we're drilling right now. So, I mean, we have the targets. It's a great time to just really explore and show what we have at this Dryden camp.
So basically this year, just like last year, you can expect to see a lot of exploration results throughout the year.
Absolutely. Okay. This first quarter is going to be very aggressive, and we actually started our campaign right off the ground January 1st, no rest for the wicked here. So we are drilling Hinman right now. We have some Laura results coming. It's going to just continue to be busy.
Well, Sheridan, let's talk about those results first. Reported a broad interval of 1.1 grams per ton over 15.5 meters. You have mentioned in the past that Sheridan has a different fluid signature than the Gold Rock camp. Talk to us about what that means first.
Well, we were, just from looking at the core itself, we always thought, okay, this looks very different. You do see little veinlets and there's some screaming high grade associated with those, but overall the fabrics of these rocks just looked unusual. And I've worked in Archean load gold systems my whole career. So this past 20 years, I've seen those rocks in every different format. You can basically see them. And I said, okay, this looks totally different. I think it's something different. What was great to see from the geochemistry is that signature is related to an intrusive source. So now we're kind of looking for a very different deposit model there. The geos are nerding it out with all of the soil data that just came back from our summer program where we did the property-wide soil campaign. We also are doing a geophysical inversion study on Sheridan. So now we're integrating all of that into where is the mother lode here. If we've just hit some of the smoke in the shear zone setting, that was what was explored in the past, where is this big intrusion-related system? And what's cool about this is that typically these Archean things, they're kind of more narrow, they're a little bit localized based on structures, but intrusion-related systems can be very broad and big tonnage. So it's just a very different game to even look for them. So the team's kind of redesigning what that could look like and what we should be targeting down at Sheridan. So it's
really
exciting.
Could be much larger than the original camp.
Exactly. It's just a totally different beast. And in an area where, there isn't a mine today, but really, this speaks to actually all projects. Everybody's looking for like 3 to 5 million ounces to get a new operation running. So that could really be a game changer for us at Sheridan. If you have something that's bigger, lower grade, you don't have to drill as tight. You can, get ounces very quickly. So it's exciting because it's a totally different beast to be hunting for.
Let's talk specifically about some assays that you're waiting on. Assays from the Pearl Zone you're waiting on. This is the extension of the Jubilee Zone.
Exactly.
If Pearl connects these systems, how quickly does that change your internal modeling of the strike length at Gold Rock?
Well, it's really exciting at Gold Rock because we last year showed so many more stacked structures. So that's one new change to the system. It's not just 3 zones that we know about now. There's a plethora of zones stacked on top of each other. And then when we look down strike, Jubilee to Pearl, if we can find the high-grade pods are lurking in all of these, chute-like structures, then it gets really interesting because that gives us such better grades for future mineability. So that's exciting. We also started to drill test Big Master again. So there'll be Allura results, or it's not Allura, but the Allura system, part of Pearl, coming back. And then we'll follow that up with some Big Master results too. So lots of news on the Gold Rock camp and how we grow it.
Now for me, it's easy to picture this because I've seen your deck multiple times before. But for those of us who are joining who have essentially come across Dryden for the very first time, can you quickly walk us through the key points that you want people to remember about your project here?
Oh, absolutely. So we're focused on kind of a two-pronged approach to exploration. So we're looking at gold rock, which had historic mining in the early turn of the centuries. It has high-grade gold mineralization, the highest sample in the property, 53,000 grams per ton over half a meter, so really high grade. So what we're doing there is really trying to understand the structural controls and predict them so that we can get better drill costs, make the discovery cost lower, and be able to really find where that's mineable. Now, on the flip side, we have 70,000 hectares in our land package. So we are looking to make a new discovery, and that's really what will unlock the district. And we have the heart of the district. We have the best structure, we believe, of course. It's been compared to the Porcupine Duster Fault by researchers at Metal Earth, which is out of Laurentian University, so really well respected. And so we think that this could be a new Timmins kind of district in Canada, in an underexplored area.
In Ontario as well.
In Ontario, yeah, just the other side, closer to the Manitoba border.
You also have rigs at the Hindman discovery right now. I know this is a personal discovery you're very excited about. We did talk about the high-grade channel samples last year, but now that the drill is actually spinning, what's that one thing you need to see in these first few holes to prove that Hindman isn't just a one-hit wonder?
We're drilling it in two basically areas that are about 1 kilometer apart. So down at the south end of the property, and then also kind of central in the property. That's where we have it permitted. And what will really be the game changer here is to see continuity. So to see veining in all of those holes, to see the shearing. And we actually did kind of a step through. So we'll get a true section to see if we have enough vein density there. It's really be interesting. So this is a different beast as well. It is a granodiorite intrusion. So that is kind of like tombstone, like it's a granite countertop sort of thing, which you don't typically expect to have a deposit in. However, because of the competency contrast with the other rocks around it, you're getting opening up, you're getting shearing and pooling of this gold. So hopefully we'll have continuity along that, and that's really what the drill program is testing, to see if it's not just a one-hit wonder, like you say, on surface, but it really continues at depth. And this intrusion is 4 kilometers long, so that gives us a lot of ground to work with, and it's right off the highway, like right off the Trans-Canada. It's like a Hemlo situation.
Before you go, I have one question that just popped into my head. I was at a talk earlier this morning, and Ross Beatty said, yes, of course we're in a bull market, but you can also think of it as a bubble, right? But for a junior like Dryden, does that really matter here as you're focused heavily on delivering on an next big discovery?
For us, it really changes nothing. I mean, it's nice to see more eyes on the story, because I think it's a great one, and we want to see more people invest in and the stock price grow. But our objectives don't change. We're trying to make a discovery. We have Centerra as our strategic partner. They're really invested and excited about our approach to making a new discovery. And the major mid-tier companies all need more gold deposits to keep mining. So I think there's a market for us as juniors, and hopefully this isn't a bubble and it just continues. I think with what's going on in the world, I feel like this is going to be a longer bull market, but I mean, who am I to predict?
Do your own homework.
Yeah, do your own homework on that. That's what I hope, I guess.
Absolutely.
But,
same here.
Yeah, I mean, we really, I feel, deserve it after all these kind of sad markets and slower years. I mean, it's time, and we need the resources, so I'm optimistic. But
Maura, always a pleasure to have you.
Great to speak with you. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.